Hello, everybody. Welcome. What a lovely past couple of days. Have you been feeling it? Yeah. Welcome, welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Katya. And what I do on these energy updates live is hopefully help to connect the dots between what's happening cosmically with the energies and make those connections also with numerology and astrology to help you navigate your everyday life. And a lot of that has to do with how you are feeling in your physical body, which I am in this moment having a little bit of a lower physical day. So we're going to make sure we stay on time with our call and maybe end in 30 minutes. But maybe you guys have been feeling the same. So let's kind of get started with just bringing you up to speed as to what's been going on the past few days, because you can't make this up. I say that so often because it really is true. The coincidences, seemingly, that are happening with the days that certain cosmic events take place, or things that are even happening in the news that correlate with different cosmic alignments or energy outputs from our sun, from the solar system. It's too crazy. So where are we and where have we been? All right, so today is the 9/11, and I don't think I have to even begin to say the monumental energy collectively that is built on that day. Now, those numbers we'll talk about in a moment, but let's back up to Sunday. So here we are on Wednesday, but what has led up to this grand event today? Well, a couple of things. Sunday, whether you were aware or not, was an 8/8 portal day. And that just happened to be, it was September the 8th, and it was in the year of 2024, which also, when you add up the numbers, reduces to 8. So that is creating this numerology event for this particular Sunday of the 8/8. So it created a mini burst, a mini portal, you could say, of energy that then ramped up and led us into the following day on Monday, which was the 9/9. Now, that was the first 9/9 portal, albeit a smaller one than the one that's coming on later in this month on the 17th and the 18th. We'll talk about that later. But this one was just like one more layer on this multi-layered delicious cake that we're now eating, whether you want to or not. So that took place on Monday. And by the time that 9/9 came, you've heard me talk before about nines are about new beginnings. They're also about endings. It's like endings and new beginnings. They kind of go hand in hand, right? So that was that energy doubled, amplified, and supported by all of the eights of abundance, of infinity, right? Coming just before it, which are all the things that we are aspiring, or not aspiring, but wanting really, and stepping more fully into as we evolve individually and collectively, and are changing the landscape of this playground that we're in right now. But by the time we arrived on Monday, I don't know if you felt this. I would love to know. Let me know in the chat. Did you feel lower energy? Did you feel, I know for myself, I woke up without really a good reason, just a foggy head. And I was on a client call this morning, and my client just was volunteering, like, yeah, like I've been feeling really low the past few days, like foggy and just unable to really operate. And I started sharing my own experience. And then I asked, I said, when did you notice this? And she says, well, it was Tuesday. No, it was Monday. And I was like, yeah, bang on. There is such a really cool pattern that you'll notice. If you speak to people and ask others how they're feeling, if you're feeling one of these kind of low, wobbly days, I was experiencing dizziness, just foggy, and really challenging to kind of get things moving through the day. But you probably, like me, were still plodding through and getting things done, but just noticeably a different energy. But one of the things I shared with my client was, one of the good things to know and remember is that if you are feeling like that, there's a pretty good chance that there's a lot of other people that are feeling that way in your world. So don't beat yourself up if you're feeling like, wow, I really just can't move this project forward, or I'm having such a hard time focusing. And our lower mind will be the first one to start criticizing, oh, you'll never accomplish what you want to, or who do you think you are to set such big goals for yourself, for example. Like, there's a whole range of conversation that typically ensues when we are feeling lower, especially physically, right? Because that's when you feel like, wow, I'm a victim to my body. My body's not cooperating, so we think. Just ignore all that. Because as I went on to explain to her, this is a time when our body has been really, I don't want to say bombarded, but bathing in, breathing in, literally all consumed by this higher electromagnetically charged plasma that is our reality experience. It's like it's the fabric of our reality. And what was taking place on Monday on that 9/9 as well was a lot of geomagnetic storm activity. And it was these highly charged protons that were really raining down on Earth. It's just the perfect explosion that took place on one side of the sun. And again, know that the sun has consciousness, so it is actively engaging with us during this whole evolutionary journey that we are on as a species. So it was playing its part in sending all of this high frequency, highly active and activating energy and proton material at us to help support us in what we're going through. So the bodies, I mean, think about it. Well, how does that affect human beings? Come on. Like, it's happening out in space. Well, think about it. We are electrical beings. There's no secret there. A lot of people have talked about this. It's not new. But if this kind of energy and this kind of force that takes place way out, I don't know how many miles or kilometers away, and it's happening out there, and it's able to knock out radio signals, entire internet coverage in different areas, do you think maybe it could affect what's happening with your biology, seeing as we are electrical beings, really sensitive to electromagnetic energy? Of course. So that took place on Monday, and that continued for several days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we have been basically bathing in this stuff. And on one hand, it makes us feel very energized sometimes, but a lot of the times it wipes you out. The other thing that could have been doing for you, which is all tied into the head, it really affects the brain. It was affecting the frontal lobe, so some of the dizziness, the balance, yeah, just a lot. And right now I'm feeling it in my body. So I'm just going to kind of end it there. But it's also sparking so much more knowing. It's activating more of that intuitive knowing, intuitive guidance within you. So it's really bringing so many beautiful things. If you can just ride through it, you'll be on the other side in no time. So just a really, really exciting time. But you can't make up the timing of this stuff, right? It's pretty uncanny. Hold on, I'm hiding my... Okay, just want to make sure I can see the chat okay. All right, beautiful. Excuse me, I have a sore throat, so I'm drinking my coconut water. This is so soothing. All right, so that's basically what's been taking place over the last couple of days. And now we're here in this 9/11. Now, just a reminder too that what we're moving into collectively is we're moving away from this more dormant, kind of inwardly focused, feminine energy, feminine principle that many of us have been in, right? So we have just come out of not long ago of a Mercury retrograde, which is when the mind really wants to go quiet, go inward, very much reflective. And so we were playing with a lot of that, and really is more of a quiet time. But you may have been feeling, particularly recently over the last few days, this resurgence of like productivity. And perhaps even into last week, because this was happening. The moment that Mercury left its retrograde station, and we were now starting to feel this upswing of like, okay, yes, let's get stuff done. And with that was probably also coming a number of things on your to-do list. Like, has anybody's to-do list been growing? Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's going to be a jam-packed September and a jam-packed October. But this is where the balancing of the masculine, feminine, the alpha and the omega energies are really coming into swing now. So if you have been maybe more laid back up until this point, maybe hanging low, being a little bit more inward, now you're going to start to feel, and even in the smallest things. I was talking with my client this afternoon, like she said, there's this thing that, my friend has not been moving forward, and it's between the two of us to take care of, and they just have not been, in a sense, doing their part to like take the action and pull the trigger, with the understanding that that was going to be their job. And so she said this feeling within me was just like, okay, I'm just going to do it myself. That's an example of what this energy feels like. It's a great example of like what this masculine energy is there to get things done, makes things happen, gives you that clarity, gives you that focus to do it. And so if you have been in that place of maybe sitting back and now are noticing that you just like, and even if it comes up as frustration or even a bit of anger, that's that rising within you. It's not that you're necessarily slipping backwards or now, not as evolved as you once were. This is often a spur by the orchestrations of our own souls and higher selves to allow this energy to come forward. Do you want to be standing in a place of frustration and anger all the time when things aren't moving that you have expectations around? No. However, sometimes a little kick of that, a little bit of that fire to create a fire, get the smoke going for a bit, is what it takes to then kick things into balance, right? We talked last week about how confrontation opens the door to balance, because it brings things to the surface that need to be confronted and then addressed and then resolved, right? So that's where we are too. So if you're feeling that rise, let it come. And just notice, be in that place of reflection after, as well as noticing it ahead of time, and just connect the dots for yourself, and you'll be able to see, okay, me having that sudden burst, like I just want to take control of the situation myself and make something happen, was actually a blessing. It was actually a gift, because it got me to accomplish this. Step out of my comfort zone, but do it in a way that didn't feel uncomfortable, for example. See where you can connect those dots for yourself, and notice through your reflection where you're perhaps breaking a pattern, because this is one of the things we're doing collectively right now en masse. And it's powerful, because this is how we are reshaping and recreating our playground. All right, so let's look here. A little bit more that we'll talk about today on the 9/11. Okay, so interestingly, this is where I say you cannot make this stuff up timing-wise. Interesting that Mercury finishes its cycle today, which is the 9/11. Now, nines we talked about is new beginnings, endings, universal love as well, right? Because it's tying back to that God principle. But what is 11? 11, we actually talked about this last week as well. 11 is a master number, but it's also about mastery. It's about pathways. So it's like bringing us into a path. So when we put the 9 and 11 together, the 9 and 11, actually, let's back up. Mercury represents the lower mind. Mercury ending its cycle, the lower mind ending its cycle on the 9/11 is so significant, because it is literally ending its cycle of lower mind dominating your experience and our experience collectively, and putting us on a pathway, the 11, into mastery, the 11, of our higher heart mind, and to start a new beginning towards universal love, divine love, a more embodied expression of who you are as an individual, your true essence, not this projection that the lower mind will try to have us believe that we are. and this is happening for you, and this is happening collectively. So what this is doing is it's allowing us to no longer be tethered to, bonded to, chained to this lower inverted inorganic matrix, the playground that we have been playing with this whole time, and the one that is basically governed by the lower mind and the ego, and allow us to finally no longer be really chained to those timelines of trauma and suffering and lack and scarcity. And it's opening us up to more freely be with, experience, create with these higher matrix, this organic matrix, and have that all be governed and an expression of our higher heart mind, our higher unified heart mind, where we are choosing and creating, making decisions from and creating through the heart. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So it's a big, big moment. But at the same time, I don't know if you feel this, but what I'm noticing is that it also feels very subtle. It feels like it's happening, but it's very quiet. It's not like the energy of like a big, powerful eclipse, or even like a big blasting full moon or a solstice or something like that. This feels like, yeah, something's shifted, but it's very subtle. Rest assured, this theme is going to start to rise within you in the coming days and weeks as we're going through September. There's a lot that's going to be happening in September. So it's going to sort of fortify within us. Yeah. So it's essentially like a birthing portal that we're going into. Another one. We've been rebirthing all year, it feels like, and we have. But this is one more of those. There's going to be more energies following up as we go out of this week and now into next week as we hit this more intense 9/9 portal that's coming and leading up into the other equinox. So, yeah, stepping into your mastery, letting go of old ways, old pathways, and making room and space for the new, particularly in how we are choosing to be and how we are choosing to show up. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing this a lot within my immediate circle, with clients. You can see it on the world stage. I'm seeing it in myself and feeling it. It's like this desire to just rebirth, start fresh. And if you're speaking with someone who maybe isn't on that path, but you tell them what your plans are, what you are experiencing and what you're choosing, like, yeah, I'm just going to do this now, you'll probably notice that they're really excited for you. That there was a part of them that's like, wow, good for you. Like, I'm excited that you are starting a new adventure. There's more support just about everywhere for the things that we're doing. And if you've been in the past the kind of person that has held things in, that hasn't really shared what you're going through, the things that you're contemplating, that you want to bring forward, you want to do, but you've been a bit shy to share, try playing with sharing a little bit and see how it feels. There is this new level of support that's available, and it is coming through in all kinds of really fun, playful ways. And what you may discover, like what I discovered recently, is that when you share these things about your aspirations, your dreams, the things that you're starting to take steps with, you will be met with support, with more enthusiasm, with perhaps ideas and suggestions and things that end up really helping you as you're going to take your first few steps, that makes you look back and say, my gosh, I should have probably said something sooner. Or, my gosh, in all these other times when I haven't said something, I wonder what would have happened if I shared then. Now, keeping in mind that where we are now is not where we were a year ago, 2 years ago, for example. So this new feeling of even the desire to share a bit more is more new. and the support that we are getting, because everything in this physical realm has now up leveled to a new vibrational threshold, a new set point, that's what we're playing in now. The players and the themes and the storylines are going to be of a higher caliber, of a higher quality nature. So it's inevitable that it's going to be a better experience as we continue to like level up and keep up with the environment around us, which to some degree is kind of inevitable, which is very fun and good to know. So my friends, that is our update for today. Any questions, any comments, feel free to share, but I'm going to end it here. In fact, a couple minutes early. Wow, it's a bit of a blessing because I really want to go and just take a nap, I think. Yeah, and really revel in these energies and do myself some really kind, good loving and relax and just serve my body in this higher way. So sending you so much love. Enjoy this series of events that continues to unfold. Take rest when you need it. Don't forget to go outside and ground your energy on Mother Earth, because it's there for us and is one of the most soothing things we can do. And until next time, sending you so much love. Bye for now, my loves.